Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to Williamson County Board of Commissioners meeting today. It's Thursday, April 25th, 2024. It's 9:02 a.m. Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Present.
Jim Marlowe.
Present.
Jim Razor.
Present.
Moving down the agenda, is there any old business? Do you have something, Jim? No. Okay. Moving down to new business, collective bargaining agreement, Williamson County Sheriff's Telecommunications. See, do we have that? I don't have a copy of that agreement. It's around.
Jack was supposed to have signed and dropped it off.
I'm not seeing.
Okay. Well, the provisions of the agreement I can recite. It is $1.50 the first year, $1.50 the second year, $1 the third year, $1 the fourth year, with the additional increase to the vacation schedule at year 10, which is standard for everyone's contract. Adding of Juneteenth to the official holiday list, which the county already recognizes, but that is memorialized within the document. They're going to change the dates. And then they agreed to the health insurance provisions that everybody else in the county is treated. So I don't know how you want to handle that. As I said, I can print out a copy. I have the draft. I just don't have his signatures. So we could approve the contingent.
Agree with Jim. I think we can approve the contingent. It is exactly what we said it was. I'd like to have that done.
That contingency be okay?
Yeah, it's fine. It's my understanding from talking with Mr. Skelcher that he had relayed the information to the sheriff as well, and that the sheriff indicated he was fine as long as his dispatchers were fine, which the dispatchers were. The lead negotiator for the dispatchers was part of the negotiation conversation that I had, so I know that was acceptable.
Okay, so we would need a motion contingent on the signed document being as you stated.
Yes.
That motion.
I'll make a motion, pass the collective bargaining agreement for Williamson County Sheriff's Telecommunicators contingent that everything's good with it, that there are no changes other than what Red has told us. That's my motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yes.
Jim Razor.
All right, moving on down the agenda to resolutions. I'm sorry, Travis, you're here. Did you have something for the board?
You know, the only thing I was just gonna tell you guys, I told you guys yesterday or last week, that we got a public meeting today for the assessment rate study. We've advertised it around the county. Hopefully we'll get some people to come in and talk to us about that. And then I was just gonna let you know that, the bridge at DeWina, that the coal line had subsided over was now complete. We've addressed some pipe issues in that area yesterday and today, and we're addressing it probably hopefully late today or tomorrow. So that'll be back open to the public. Dean Road is still, I'm not gonna say it's closed, but it's limited access. They're still hauling dirt across the road. So we have barricades across the road, basically for local traffic. But we're limiting that access just because of the heavy equipment crossing the road to get them on stable. So they're still working. So other than that, everything should be open.
Okay, thank you.
In case anybody should call you asking at the last Farm Bureau meeting, was that the question that to your point, Dean Road Building Authority, this might be the talk to Travis about it. So just in case anybody calls you, I invite Travis.
The authority to close the road?
Yeah, who had the authority to close it?
And, you know, we're basically calling it a safety issue.
Yeah.
The imminent danger of the failure, their detention is not there, but they're hauling a lot of dirt across there to make repairs. And we just need to, I just assume, the school bus traffic knows not to go down there. Just to not have that possible interaction between the school bus and piece of heavy equipment. If the farmers need to get through there, you know, we're not stopping, stagger the barricades, but we're not encouraging the general public.
Thank you, Travis. Next on the agenda, we have a resolution, State's Attorney's Office. And this is something that we do every year. Is there any comment or questions about it?
Good, no questions.
No questions.
Then I'll make a motion that we approve, the state's attorney, appellate prosecutor's resolution, which is 24-04-25-70. Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Matheson, Jim Marlowe,
Yeah.
Jim Raisik.
We have an ordinance today, amendment to the solar array ordinance. In the county. I think, Brad, the only change on this was the way the electrical lines.
So there were two changes. Ultimately, your draft shows one, the final for signature has another last minute change. There was the first change of the containment of the wires. The original ordinance indicated that they needed to be underground. It's my understanding that there has been a couple of different containment systems that allow the wires to be above ground but encased. So I've tried to amend the ordinance to allow for that. The other section is under the definition section. It indicated that it needed to have a fence built around the property. But Commissioner Razor, and I must say I agree, asked what a fence made of dirt would look like. I said that would be a berm, would be my assumption. And we determined that we would take that out and make it actually be a fence as opposed to a hill that surrounded the solar field. So those are the only two changes to that ordinance.
All right. Any discussion, questions, comments about this? Motion to approve.
So moved. Or, make motion to approve, the amendment to ordinance for the green renewable energy facilities, ordinance number 24-04-25-05.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Matheson,
Okay.
Jim Marlowe,
Yeah.
Jim Raisik.
Moving on down to public comments. Any public comments? Do you have to say? Hearing none. Move on down to miscellaneous. Actually, have you got something miscellaneous for us?
I want to argue a request.
Miscellaneous, okay.
This is for the Village of Freeman Spur. It's for their water tower portion of their projects. It's in the Horner Shipman invoice for construction administration, $1,623.85.
Does anybody have anything else for miscellaneous?
I have one item, concerning the opioid funds that we have. I proposed a question to our countywide association, CCI. Got some responses back from various other counties at the county board. The question was that who has the authority to spend opioid funds? be the state's attorney's office or the county commission. It's a little mixed bag, but I'd say probably 90% of the responses have been county. So, and I do know that those have certain restrictions. Some of the county boards giving that money to the mental health boards, for various reasons. But anyway, I just want to bring that out to you that I know we do have those funds. Just, it's kind of a confusing, who has the authority to spend it. So, but anyway, I've actually had some emails and forwarded.
Yeah, I've talked to other treasurers across the state. So worked with them, get other county state's attorneys. But
And I think we have a couple hundred grand,
there's 217,000,
270.
which I actually talked to the AG's office because our reports are incorrect. So we'll have to get those reports.
Yep.
But I've asked them about how to do everything. So we can get those corrected and also pose the question about the interest money. Because there's been about $7,700 in interest that's actually accrued in the account. So they were not sure how that was supposed to be addressed. She was going to be talking to her colleagues and superiors to see if those funds, she assumed that those funds would be also put back into abatement, sources to abate the opioids. She said she would try to get a more clear determination on that.
So Rick, could you find out if this board has some kind of statute control over this money?
So is there a term and condition sheet of the opioid?
Well, I mean, there's
Money or program or-
there's a use program, of the National Opioid Settlement that states what those allowable uses are. But then as far as when I talk to the AG's office, if you want to compare the restrictions and requirements of the ARPA, SLRF stuff, Treasury to this, it's like 9-day difference. I mean, the AG's office is more, they're just trying to get an idea and understanding of what the money is being used for, but then they also said that they are going to eventually have to provide that information to the national opioid agents, showing what those funds are being used for. So,
Well, and that ultimately is my question, is contained within the document, when the county received the funds or accepted that they were going to receive the funds, should be terms and conditions as to who is responsible for making sure that the funds are used in the manner prescribed under the documents. And so whoever's responsible for that, in my opinion, is who ultimately has to have the last say on yes, it is, or no, it isn't. So for instance, if the document says that it's going to be distributed to the state's attorneys throughout the counties, and the state's attorney is to make sure that the funds are used in this appropriate manner, then it's the state's attorney's decision as to whether or not the funds do or don't qualify. If it's given to the counties or the county boards for use within the criminal justice system, et cetera, then it's the county board that, again, is responsible. But the document we shouldn't be creating our own rule, I guess is what I'm saying, is
That's what I don't want
the
to do.
program itself should specify who's got the responsibility, just like the COVID monies. It was clear the county board and then whoever got registered as the SLRF agent is responsible for making sure that the funds are used in accordance with the final rules. So I don't know who's got those documents. I know that Mr. Prince at some point in time was involved as the receiver of the funds. Don't know how that happened. Don't know why that, so I don't know if he's got the documents, if ultimately he's responsible for making sure that the funds are used in accordance. I just don't know. Somebody has to have paperwork.
At some
I don't know who.
point, somebody's going to want to spend that money for something.
Yes, I would assume.
And because of that, what does this board need to do? What does this board need to
That's
know?
part of the question I submitted, how could you give examples of how that money was utilized? as of right now, I don't have a response. I'll forward you the emails. From UCC.
I mean, I think the use question is a different question from who's responsible. So I think we first have to figure out, because like I said, we've got an external party. We've got the state's attorney's office that we know it has to be involved with drug-related issues. So it has to be involved either there or potentially the court system. So I don't know if the funds can be used for drug court or not used for drug court. And then what's the county board's role in the allocation of those funds? I think all of that comes together, but there has to be somebody's got to have originating paperwork that says here. But it was before Ted became state's attorney, because this was all originated under Brandon. But again,
So the checks are made out to Williamson County.
And so
That's
that's,
all I can say.
that was why I questioned UCCI to see what
Right.
other counties are doing. So, because I didn't.
yeah, and I've not experienced any counties utilizing the funds at this point in time that I can point to it and say, this is what they've done.
I'll forward you my email.
I mean, the only local one I know is Slane.
That's used them.
Slane used them. Their board, through a resolution or an approval from the recommendation, state's attorney gave a substantial amount of money to the judge.
So that doesn't help us at all, because they worked in conjunction with the state's attorney.
Right, exactly. I mean,
So you don't know who had to or didn't have to.
Right. I just know that the board approved it.
Right.
But the state's attorney, I believe, over there, this is talking to the treasurer.
Right.
He said that they presented it, the board approved it, the treasurer wrote the money to the Egyptian.
All I know is that we need to know, at some point, they're gonna spend this money. We need to know what our responsibility is.
Well,
So if we have responsibility at all, that's,
I mean, the question right now is, who has the authority to spend and how do they spend it?
that's.
Because my guess is if the state's attorney's office comes to the treasurer and says, I need you to write a check for this, his first question is gonna be, well, who has the authority to approve it? Does that have to go through the board or does it go through the state's attorney? I mean, that answer has to, but it's gonna be under the program that's gonna control it, because there's not a statute out there that says opioid settlement funds shall be the response, I mean, so it's gotta be within the program itself for recipients.
Okay.
But we need to find the documentation, so I'll check around, and I'll email Ted to see if he has any paperwork.
I have a meeting next week.
Okay, if you can find that out, and then I'll check with some of my other counties to see if they have any originating work.
And I'll give you my emails.
Appreciate it.
Okay, does that cover your miscellaneous? Jim, you gave it miscellaneous?
I do not.
Gentlemen, at this time, I would like to take us into closed session. Topic, closed session. You have a statute for that, right?
Yes. This is for property, right?
Yes.
5 ILCS. 122.
Something.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, guys.
Is it 20? 2C20, is
I
that
want to say it's 21, but
21? I think it's another.
1 second. I didn't bring my cheat book. Right here.
It's fine. Well, and the park district code is fine.
It's 5. Purchase or lease of real property.
Is that-
120 ILCS 5C 5 or 2C5.
Okay, motion to go into closed session under the statute that just said. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Jim Adkisson.
Yep.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Reeser.
Yeah.
It's 9:22.
Watch two, C, five.
Actually, you got 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, how's it look? September 1st.